Hey everyone, Steph here from Old Guy Melts Plastic. After a long bout of reassembling my Voron V2 printer, after I'd stripped it right down, I'd removed all of the Z drives underneath, all the electronic components underneath. It took me probably a total of about 10 hours to kind of put everything back, and basically I ripped the Z drives apart to make sure that the gears inside, the pulleys inside had no dust or problems with the tooth idlers, the tooth pulleys. And I had removed my Z rails, all four Z rails, and basically cleaned them off and then re-lubed them, reinstalled everything, and we're back to being operational again. I did all this in order to correct a print problem that I was having. Let me see if I can pull up an example part that I threw in the garbage. 1 second. Just to show you what I was dealing with. So I was getting this, the first few layers, bottom layers looking pretty good. I'm on a textured bed, so, that texture is typical for me. Not getting much in the way of a little bit of elephant footing, but not too bad. The first few layers, 5-10 layers went down okay, and then suddenly we see this kind of over extrusion happening. And there were a couple of things that ended up being the root cause of this, and I'm honestly not sure which one it was. But with the help of some friendly people in the Voron Discord community, I was able to basically disable some software features, and I thought I dealt with, I thought I was dealing with a hardware problem with my Z drives that were not working properly or binding. But then after changing the software, I was able to get, a functional part. Is it perfect? No. It still has some banding and things like that, but, the lines are actually pretty good. Again, I'm getting good extrusion. I'm not under extruding or over extruding. This, to me, I thought it was a Z issue where I was getting binding, but then somebody in the slicers and print help channel on the Voron Discord suggested that it was over extruding. So then we started trying to dig into why that would be. It ended up that I had two things in my print profile. My Z motion was set quite a bit faster than stock, and on these printers, the Z drives, the Z movement isn't usually very fast. You're only going up one layer at a time, so it doesn't need high speeds or acceleration. It doesn't really greatly affect your print speeds to have that higher Z acceleration and speed in there. So I put those back to stock. And then the other thing that I had implemented, and this is not at all to knock somebody's work, but I had enabled Andrew McGregor's TMC auto tuning. So basically automatic tuning of the TMC stepper drivers. And I had enabled it on all of my motors, so both the A and B motor as well as the 4Z motors and the extruder motor as well. And I think part of the problem I was having was maybe auto tune was not quite behaving properly in certain situations where my and this might not be auto tune, this might actually be my own tuning, where my max flow rate might have been set a bit too high, and that was causing some of this blobbing. So between A, slowing down my Z travel, B, disabling auto tuning temporarily, and C, setting my flow rate in the slicer from 44 cubic millimeters per second down to 36 millimeters per second, the over extrusion goes away and I get a functional part. Again, it's not perfect. The bridging through some of these areas is not necessarily the best, but it's usable for a functional 3D printer part. So that's basically, after spending 10 hours, tearing everything apart and disassembling and reassembling the hardware, chances are it was probably just a simple software solution. So before you go, in frustration, tearing your machine apart, trying to chase dragons, maybe ask around to see if anyone else has any suggestions. And I want to shout out to specifically 2 users on the Voron Discord. So Thor previously went by Thor's Thunder. I think he's now just going by Thor. And then Fly the Elephant was the other one. So thank you to both of you guys for helping me get my printer back operational again. The good thing about tearing it down and rebuilding it was I was able to resquare my frame quite a bit better than it was. I've cleaned and relubed all of the motion systems. So I should be in a better position to properly tune this printer going forward. And to be fair, the printer is a year old, so it was overdue for some maintenance anyway. I've probably logged, and this isn't an obscene amount, but I've probably logged about maybe 5,000 print hours on it. So definitely some. And hadn't really done, I've done a lot of modding to it, but haven't specifically done much in the way of maintenance. So this was overdue. Anyway, just let you know that, it is back operational. My next project is to install a new motherboard into my V0. So this will be this is the BTT Big Tree Tech E3 EZ motherboard. So it's intended to be installed on Ender 3 printers. The format is sized to fit an Ender 3 printer, but it has the right amount of stepper driver sockets. And in this case, I do have EZ5160s. It might not focus on that very well, but they are, take my word for it, these are EZ5160 stepper drivers. And this is a CB1 currently, but I just acquired a Raspberry Pi CM4 module. And the reason I want the CM4 instead of the CB1 is that the CB1, to the best of my knowledge, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on this, if you're watching the video and know otherwise, but the CB1 does not work with the CSI or DSI. So that's the camera interface and the display interface that are common to Raspberry Pi, at least Raspberry Pi 4 devices. And I do have a CSI camera and a DSI display that I want to use on my V0, on my Box Zero printer. So this will also take up less space in the electronics bay than currently does the Raspberry Pi 4 that I have in there and the SKR Pico. So between them, they're occupying more physical space than this will. So it should buy me some room to maybe put in some other mods. Also, this board is capable, and especially as I have the 5160 drivers, it is capable of driving the stepper motors at 48 volts. So all I need is an appropriately sized 48 volt power supply that I can fit into the Box Zero frame, and I'll be able to drive the stepper motors on the Box Zero at 48 volts as well. So that's going to be something to look for in an upcoming video. I will probably, record some more content on the Box Zero when I get to this. It's going to be a couple of days because I have some other family business to attend to this weekend, but look forward to getting back to playing with my Box Zero printer just as soon as I can. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. And sorry about that. Dropped the camera. It slipped out of my hand. Yes, that's it for now. Thank you again for watching. And don't forget to comment if there's anything you want to ask. Bye now.